The readers, that's excellent. The movies get all the casual.
First of all, thank you everyone for attending our dinner meeting. And Jolene, the meal was fantastic. Thank you. I now call the 30th Annual STEP Foundation Membership Meeting to order. Leon, where are you?
It is my duty to inform you, say the members have been duly informed of the annual meeting. The quorum is present.
Thank you. Okay, so the minutes from the 2022 annual meeting are in the folders in front of you on the tables. I didn't know if any of you had time to look them over. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, I would like to ask for a motion for approval.
I move we approve the minutes as submitted.
Jeff Gore made a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
I second.
Deb Tangman seconded that. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Okay, I guess we're to the president's report, huh? Yeah, I'd like to start with a little blurb that Tori's son Colin wrote. Life is short and many people work for their entire lives to leave a legacy to someone else. Sometimes that legacy makes a huge difference. Nemaha County STEP Foundation is an example of a legacy making a difference. In June of 1993, a Seneca Town meeting was organized by Shirley Heidemann and Joan Leager and was held at the Nemaha Valley High School with the purpose to promote the betterment of the Seneca community and surrounding area, with approximately 85 people attending the meeting. Out of this meeting, the Vision Committee was formed. One of the suggestions given to the committee was to form a community foundation. In July, the Vision Committee selected a name for the foundation, the Seneca Area STEP, striving to ensure progress. This name was later changed to STEP Foundation and is currently known as the Nemaha County STEP Foundation. A diverse group of people volunteered to be organizers of the foundation. Those volunteers were Greg Haney, Shirley Heidemann, Don Leager, Joan Leager, Rich Massion, Rick Oberding, Steve Rector, Jim Ronnebaum, and Gary Sparling. Their first board members were Gary Sparling, President, Dave Haberkamp, Vice President, Paul Boding, Treasurer, Don Leager, Secretary, Lois Crozier, Nancy Gafford, Dan Henry, Bill Jenkins, Joan Leager, Don Richardson, Melvin Steinloggy, Adrian Strothman. These citizens began the legacy progress. Today, the Nemaha County STEP Foundation provides a continuing legacy by receiving, growing, and distributing funds. So we're gonna, for my report, we're gonna share a video Taylor Jacobson from Rainbow created for STEP in honor of the 30th anniversary.
STEP Foundation is one in which it just takes in the whole county. When you really think about it, that's why I enjoy serving on the board, meeting people from every part of the county, from Wetmore to Corning to Centralia to Bern, Sabetha, and Seneca. It just encompasses the whole county. Yes, it started here in Seneca. At one time, I think there was a lot of the projects went toward here in Seneca, but by the board being involved from the different parts of the county, it's just amazing to see now how many funds that we have that are set up for all these various cities.
I love the small town feel of Nemaha County. My husband and I went to college and then lived in about 45 minutes from here, and we wanted to move back to the area to raise our children with the morals and values that we were raised with, and to be able to serve others in the community.
Since I've been a board member, some of the projects that we've completed is ballparks and libraries and just giving back to the community in multiple ways, such as scholarships.
Overall, I think the foundation has evolved tremendously over the 25 years, and it's had great successor directors and so forth with visions. And you just really want to see that corpus continue to grow and to continue to be able to help promote projects and ideas and stuff in all county.
I see the STEP Foundation growing. We've increased funds from one year to the next, about 16 to 23 funds now. I just see us impacting the community through different organizations, helping the organizations. We did a match day the last couple of years and plan on doing that again in August. I just see it growing over time, and I don't know what that looks like for sure, but I'm excited to be a part of that.
I have always loved the people of Nemaha County and spent my life working with them, and appreciate the values that they have and the families that they raise.
So again, thank you, the original board members, for getting this going. Julie Bergman. A little bit for Taylor for taking care of that for us. I'd like to recognize those who start STEP 30 years ago to stand and be recognized. So, you want any past members? Okay, so do we have any, come on, past board members and executive directors? Gary Sparling, Don Leader, Jeff Gore, Mark Wetzel, Nancy Gafford, Dave Haberkamp, Sonny Gore, Julie Strothman, Charlene Bowden. Thank you so much. Oh, it's Jerry Redding. Sorry, Jerry. Okay, our financial, we're ready for board members, yes, sorry. I need to introduce board members. Myself, Marcel Hazenkamp, President. Dan Hyman, Vice President. Come on, Dan. Get up. Justin Leager, Treasurer. Secretary Leon Haberkamp. Our Anissa Bloom. John Lehman isn't here. Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss any? Okay. Elaine Mauder, not here tonight. Tim Rottinghouse. Dustin Walters. Stacy Cordy. Bonnie Meeks. And Maggie Grier. Now Bonnie is also our bookkeeper. She gets those headaches every month. And of course, our wonderful executive director, Tori Jost. She's made all of this happen. STEP has grown because of you. Okay, Justin?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? All right. So I am the treasurer of the STEP Foundation, and just pleased to be giving you a report on financials over the past year. So in your packet, there's actually a document, if you want to look at it, that'll also be up here on the screen. It says Statement of Activity across the top. So this is just all the money coming into the STEP Foundation, any money going out during the year. So I'm just going to walk you through that to give you a glimpse of how 2022 unfolded. So at the top, we'll start with direct public support, $395,449.41. So that consists of donations and new assets to start new funds. So a lot of good growth directly from the public, what we love to see. The next line item down that you'll see is investments, and there's a negative sign in front of that. So negative $163,312.85. So every year we mark our investments to market. So what that $163,000 represents is a loss during a year. And we're going to talk more about the investment side and why we saw that loss here in a little bit. And then the third line item you see on the income side is program income, $10,710. That is from our membership dues. So individuals, families, and businesses turning in their membership dues. And that certainly helps fund the foundation, and we are really pleased with that support that we get every year. So as far as money coming in for 2022, we had a total of $242,846.56. As far as money going out, we are a foundation, so we actually don't mind seeing money go out the door. That's what we're here to do, and those top two line items do just that. So awards and grants, $18,000. Oh, sorry. That is what we had submitted out to the county for various grants and awards for projects around the county. Second line item, restricted disbursements, $44,775.42 was basically scholarships that went out to students that are primarily in college. From there, business expenses, $40. It's just an annual filing fee that we have every year with the state of Kansas. Contract services, $1,450. That's for bookkeeping, and then we have an annual audit of the STEP Foundation, and that funds that particular line item. Operations, $3,334.39. Covers all the things you would think of just running a business, printing, mailing, telephone, those types of things. From there, other types of expenses, $6,470.97 is our marketing and advertising. So for our website, and then we also periodically have ads in the Seneca newspaper and Sabetha newspaper for the various times of year. For instance, whenever we have this meeting, we put an ad in the paper. And then last line item there on it, total expenditures, payroll expense, $28,781.28. And I like to say, aside from grants and scholarships, this is the best money that we spend every year. It's for Tori, our wonderful executive director. We're fortunate to have her, and that is money well spent. So that leaves us with a total of $102,852.06. There is one more line item of expense. If you look down there, it says admin fee expense, and it's $6,799.10. That is for the Trust Company of Manhattan. We utilize them to manage, help us manage the investment portfolio, and that's the fee that they received from the various funds throughout the year. So in total, we ended with net revenue $133,195.40. So a pretty darn good year. Any questions on that before we move to the next financial statement? All right, so the next one says statement of financial position. So these are just the assets that the STEP Foundation has. It's pretty darn simple and straightforward. So bank accounts, basically checking accounts for us, $41,883.28. Accounts receivable, $84,970.50. That line item is for pledges. So we have had donors that have said in the future they will give us a certain amount of money, and so we track that in that line item. So just shy of $85,000 that we anticipate over time donors will send in. So that gives us total current assets, $126,853.78. The biggest line item we have here is what's called other assets, and that's that $1.8 million. And that represents our investment portfolio. All the various component funds that we have are lumped into that. And that also brings us to the total assets, $1,946,131.79. So that's just all the assets we have. Any questions on that? Okay. So I want to talk about the investment side of things. As I mentioned before, on our income statement, we had to show a loss of around $163,000. So why was that? On the there's another paper in your packet that says STEP Foundation. You can see it up here as well. But this just lists all the various funds that we have in the STEP Foundation. It lists the allocation that they are currently in, so allocation of stocks versus bonds. And then it shows the current value in each of those funds. So as of 12/31, how much money did each fund have in it? And on the far right, it shows the year-to-date return. So whether these funds made or lost money. And you'll be quick to recognize that basically across the board there was a loss. And that's because of stocks and bonds and their performance in 2022. So just as a bit of context, in 2022, U.S. stocks lost around 18%. International stocks lost around 16%. Even United States bonds, which are relatively safe or supposed to be, lost 13%. So when those assets decline in value, obviously the investments that we have in them also decline in value. And I'm going to focus on the General Endowment Fund. In this whole list, it's the very top one because it's the one that the STEP Foundation gets to control in terms of how aggressive or conservative we have it invested. And currently, that fund, General Endowment Fund, is 60% stock and 40% bonds, which is our long-term target. That's exactly where we want it to be. We started 2022 basically flip-flopped. We were 40% bonds, or sorry, 60% bonds, 40% stock. And twice in 2022, we increased our stock exposure as the stock market declined. So we did the first one in June and the second one in September. And both of those were fairly advantageous times to move out of bonds and into stocks. As a result, if you look at the General Endowment Fund's year-to-date return, it was, I'll say, only down 9.8%. And again, keep in mind, U.S. stocks were down 18%, U.S. bonds down 13%. So the fact that in the face of those headwinds, we were able to generate a loss of less than 10%, it was a pretty darn good result, although I would love for that to be a positive instead of a negative sign in front of it. I'll also note that we have 30% of our portfolio still invested in CDs in local banks, and that certainly cushioned the downside for us in 2022. So keeping money locally was a good strategy for us in 2022. Any questions on the investment side of things? All right. This next page isn't in your packet, and I don't know if it's just, this is my last year as treasurer, I started to get a little nostalgic, but I decided to look back on assets in the STEP Foundation, and I found reliable data going back to at least 2008. So what you see on this chart is our net assets from 2008 all the way to the start of this year, 2023. And I just thought it was fascinating. If you look at that period, from 2008 through basically 2017, we were essentially flat, up a little less than 1% a year. And then if you look from 2017 through the start of this year, assets have grown at a clip of 8.8% a year. And I started thinking, why is that? What changed? The first thing that came to mind is Tori Jones joined us at the end of 2016 and has undeniably helped us tremendously. Been a steady hand, and she has such a passion for Nemaha County and for the STEP Foundation. So, Tori, thank you for everything you've done. No doubt you've been a big part of that asset growth. Two, we transitioned to that stock and bond portfolio. I think it's really important to note that we had on the income statement a $163,000 loss. That is still reflected in these numbers. And yet, in the face of that, we were able to grow assets 8.8%. So moving from a portfolio of all CDs to stocks and bonds, there's just no doubt in my mind that over time, that will allow the STEP Foundation to grow even faster. And I really think the word is getting spread to all parts of the county. If you look at the funds that we have started in the last few years, whether it be Corning or Centralia or all over, the word is getting out about the STEP Foundation and the good things we do and how we can help them. So that has helped us grow assets as well. And I'll just put a plug in there. I really think the next phase of our growth is going to come from all of you. Estate gifts, just large individual gifts, I think is the next phase of having STEP Foundation growing and going to greater and new heights. But it's been a privilege to be a part of this growth, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
Thank you, Justin. Nominating. Dan Hyman, I need you to present the slate of nominees and read the biography.
As president of the nominating committee, we nominate Kevin Belkamp. He was born and raised in the Seneca area. He returned to the area after attending and getting a degree at Kansas State University in Business Management. He resides in rural Nemaha County between Seneca and Centralia. Kevin has over 20 years of experience in IRA custodial services. Currently holds the position of Valley View Miller. Kevin has two sons who have also returned to Nemaha County upon completing their college degrees. He has been very active with his sons, coaching athletics, enjoying outdoor, and leading men and scouts. Kevin is a member of the Seneca Knights of Columbus 1769, where he served as treasurer and currently sings in the choir. He's also a member of the Nemaha County Pheasants Forever Committee. In his spare time, Kevin enjoys his time with his boys hunting and fishing, gardening, and conservation work. Kevin is honored to have been selected to serve in the Nemaha County STEP Foundation. He is excited to start his new role and is striving to ensure progress.
So we'll take action on that later in the meeting. I need a report from the Fundraising and Outreach Committee. So Justin, you could share a little bit about Match Day for us.
I'm back. So there's a sheet in your packets that has all this information if you can't read it. But Match Day is something we've done now for 2 years. And just as a reminder of how that works, it's a day of giving. So we offered in 2022 to match $2,000 for all the funds that we have. So as long as they could raise $2,000, we would match that, give them another $2,000. And it really just started as a way to help these funds grow and get some exposure to them. So we have a really great audience. All of you people are great supporters of the STEP Foundation. And we thought, why not find a way to get those supporters a day where they can look at all these funds and help them grow, really look at the causes they care most about and help fund them. And so this sheet just shows you on the left-hand side what the results were for 2021, and then on the right side, what the results were for 2022. And I just want to hit a couple of the highlights. We had a 27% increase year over year in total dollars donated. So in 2022, $133,903.01 was donated, which is just incredible for only doing this the second year. In addition, average donation was $482, but that ranged anywhere from $10 on up to $20,000. So everyone pitched in, and we'll take those $10 just as much as we will the $20,000. It all helps. And so I guess the real big thing from 21 to 22 is that we had more people giving more money, and quite frankly, we hope to break some of those stats again in 2023. Help these funds, help the foundation grow even more from here. But it's an amazing event. We'll be doing it again in August. So if you guys have questions on that, feel free to let us know. Happy to walk you through what that looks like. But this has truly been a big differentiator for the STEP Foundation. If you look back at the asset growth that we've had, Match Day has been a huge contributor to that as well. So thank you to all who have given in the past. We truly appreciate it. Tim, could you please come up?
As Justin was saying, Match Day's been huge for our organization. Raised over a couple $100,000 the last 2 years. But it's also created a lot of excitement in our communities. That's where a lot of these funds, I think, have come from because of this project that's been going on. The one challenge with Match Day is you got to find matching funds. Year one, we basically went and approached the corporate sector of the county in raising money. We felt like we were fairly successful. We raised $65,000 for match money. Match Day was successful that first year. Year number two, when we got to the point of raising funds, it became obvious that hitting that same group of people year after year was going to be a little difficult. And so we, I guess, brainstormed a little and came up with the idea of creating a step-up supporter. And basically what a step-up supporter basically is an individual, is what it was last year. This coming year will be an individual or a business that is willing to donate $1,000 toward the match money. $500 of that money will be toward matching STEP general fund, $500 toward matching other funds. The intent there is to, like I say, diversify a little and make it a little more of a stable avenue of getting money. If we lose one step-up supporter, we have 10 of them, when we have $10,000, we lose one, we still have $9,000. If we lose a $10,000 corporate donor, it leaves a pretty big hole. So that's kind of the thought. Last year, we had 19 or 18, I think, step-up supporters. Our goal is to increase that over time. Our goal for next year is to try to have 30, and eventually try to get that number closer to 50. The theory being is if we have 50 step-up supporters, we're not trying to replace the corporate side of the world, we're trying to supplement it. And if we can have 50 eventually over time, that gives us a $50,000 pool along with some step-up supporters, can make this Match Day successful going forward. In your packets or at the front desk, there is a little baseball. If you have an interest in being one of those people, you don't have to fill this out, but you can talk to anyone on the board, talk to myself, talk to anyone on the board, if you feel like you would be willing to be one of those individuals. We truly appreciate everyone that has done that in the past. And like I say, I truly believe that's our avenue to making Match Day successful going forward.
Okay, is there any old or unfinished business that needs to be considered? Is there any new business that needs to be considered? Okay, then I'm gonna turn it over to Tori.
Thank you, Marcel. And I wanted to thank the Nemaha Valley Community Hospital, first of all, for letting us use the screen and the audio equipment tonight. And thank you, Mark Wessel, for setting it all up for us. Last year, after the annual meeting, I received a few suggestions to improve the meeting for this year. And one was to start and end with a joke. So, Jerry Rottinghouse, this one's for you. How often do pool lifeguards donate to charity? It depends. Yeah, they're a little corny. They're clean. So now on to the fun stuff. So grants awarded in 2022. The spring grant award was for $10,000 to the Baileyville Cemetery Association. $8,000 was awarded from the Glenn J. Meyer Advisory Fund and $2,000 from the Step General Endowment Fund. The purpose of this grant was to straighten, reset, and level the headstones in the cemetery. They were leaning and falling down due to the age of the graves, obviously, and settling. When the project is complete, it will preserve the headstones and protect them from future settling. We had several grant recipients that received funding from the fall grant round. There were 12 applications. So one of the recipients from the General Endowment Fund was the Nemaha County Historical Society. They will be receiving $750 for the preservation of historical USD 115 documents. Kathy Enneking, grant writer, explained the purpose of the grant and the application. So in the spring of 2022, the school purchased a digital kiosk. This device features a touch screen, allowing users to view a multitude of information about school organizations and activities. She volunteered to upload the content to the device, specifically documents pertaining to the history of USD 115 and all the schools that have consolidated into it. As she did this, she realized there was a lot of historical importance there that was contained, and so she felt like the next step was to have a hard copy available at the library and at the Historical Society so people could go view a hard copy as well. So that was the second part of that project. The Seneca Community Hospital, sorry, I didn't have that up there. The Sabetha Community Hospital will be receiving $1,250 from the Step General Endowment Fund. The hospital will purchase a new audiometer for use in newborn hearing screening. So every baby at the hospital is screened at birth and shortly after, per the requirements of the state of Kansas. The hospital takes the health and well-being of the patients very seriously. Explained Debbie Thompson, she's their public relations liaison, and this includes the hearing status of newborns. So it's very important that they can catch that hearing loss as soon as possible. Oops, not going too far. Two local ball associations were awarded funds from the Glenn J. Meyer Advisory Fund. The Centralia Ball Association was awarded $1,000 for equipment to properly maintain the ball field. There's a picture of the equipment. And the Corning Recreation Association was awarded $3,000 to replace the existing lights with new LED lights and 4 new poles. And both grants will be investments into children and the communities. The following 4 applications for the CNB Custody, and Pfizer Underprivileged Fund were awarded the Centralia Schools for $1,170 to provide athletic shoes and warm-up shirts to students who are economically disadvantaged. The Mary Cotton Public Library, $2,000 to provide wireless internet access to the underprivileged children. The Kids Closet in Sabetha, $2,500 to provide clothes, food, toiletries, gym clothes, and shoes for children in need. And then USD 115 Nemaha Central $2,000 to provide basic needs for low-income students. This could be backpacks, mats, coats, gloves, all different kind of basic hygiene stuff. We still have 2 pending grants that haven't come to completion yet, and this is the Friends of the Mary Cotton Public Library. They were doing an interior redesign of their youth area in their library, and then Pheasants Forever, the community garden. So since last year, at the annual meeting, we've awarded a $15,000 from the Glenn J. Meyer Fund that was presented to the Sacred Heart Baseball and Softball Association, and they put in new lights and power supply there. So as Justin had mentioned, we've set up a lot of funds. 2022, we've had an enormous amount of funds set up. So I'm going to just run through those real quick. The Nemaha County Historical Society was one of them. The Seneca Free Library. The Seneca Impact Fund, and this is specifically set up for the creation and restoration of murals within Seneca. The Centralia Community Project Fund. The Corning Impact Fund. The Centralia Community Church, there's an endowment fund as well as a scholarship fund. And all these funds are improving the quality of life in Nemaha County, and they're eligible for match day donations. Thanks to Ag Partners, a portion of the fuel sales at the Seneca Card Troll were donated each quarter to establish a new Seneca Community Fund. There's some pictures, so those are the quarterly distributions that we received. And the Corning Community Fund received donations from July 1 to the end of the year by people making purchases at the Corning Card Troll. We appreciate Ag Partners teaming up with us to support the local communities. The Nemaha County Catastrophic Medical Fund distributed $15,171 in 2022. This goes to those that are struggling due to a catastrophic medical event. So this could be cancer, heart attack, stroke. Recipients are eligible for $3,000 each year to help with the medical expenses. Nemaha County Meals on Wheels distributed $9,104 from its fund with the STEP Foundation, and it's to assist the elderly with food for meals. So I mentioned in the grant awards that the Underprivileged Children's Fund is providing assistance to those 4 grant recipients. Thanks to the assistance with some paperwork and so forth that John and Janelle Haug helped us, we've been blessed to receive a $5,000 donation from the Bayer Fund, and that's what the big check here is, and you probably saw it in the paper as well. I just wanted to take a moment to kind of share what the local impact is. It's great to hear numbers, and that's wonderful, but just for one child, I just wanted to kind of share a story of one child and the impact that that's made. So one distraught child was in need of shoes for gym class. He was embarrassed and humiliated because he didn't have the basic items that he needed to attend school. So after receiving new shoes through the Underprivileged Children's Fund, he was happy, smiling, engaging in gym class again. So this is the impact that donors can make. Improving the life of just one child in Nemaha County makes a huge difference. So thank you to all of you who donate. For the donors, you're investing in the future, so thank you for that. Before I share the scholarship recipients, I just want to take a moment to highlight the Nemaha County Dementia Fund. This fund was established in 2018 by Debbie Tangman in memory of family members who had suffered with dementia. It was set up to provide funding to the local long-term care facilities, the hospitals, home health agencies, the people that service individuals that are struggling with dementia. And the funds go towards purchasing items to enhance activities or dementia-related training for staff. So on to the scholarships. I wanted to just say thank you to Kaylee Overdeen. She's a 6th grader from Centralia. The video that you saw before that was circulating with all the different scholarship recipients, what school they came from, and then what school they are attending. She put all that together and she did a terrific job. So I just wanted to give her a little kudos and thank her for that. The first scholarship I wanted to talk about was the Dr. August Bergman's. He's been a supporter of STEP for years. He had a memorial scholarship in his mother's name, Elizabeth Bergman Memorial Scholarship, and he helped start the BNB Legacy Scholarship. So the recipients of this countywide scholarship, receiving $1,000 each, were Haley Wartz and Taryn Ganstrom of Nemaha Central High School, and Matthew Whitaker of Sabetha High School. The BNB Legacy Scholarships awarded 3 scholarships to graduating seniors who previously attended BNB. The 2022 recipients from Nemaha Central High School were Savannah Engelken, Rachel Schmitz, and Maya Schmitz. And the $1,000 recipient of the Leroy Roy Hyma Memorial Scholarship was Nicole Hamas. The first recipients of the Barbara K. Bitt Scholarship were Ellie Mady and Madison Lorcher from Nemaha Central, and Carson Cross from Centralia High School. Each received a $1,500 scholarship. Haley Wirtz and Cassidy Rethman were the 2022 recipients of the Harry C. M. Berger Nemaha Central Scholarship. This was an endowed scholarship set up by the late Harry Berger to encourage kids to further their education. It's renewable and it's $700, and they have to attend K-State, but it's renewable for 4 years during their time at K-State. Carson Cross was the 2022 recipient of the Harry C. M. Berger Nemaha County Scholarship. Again, this is another endowed scholarship. It's known as the Berger II. It's for $650. Again, 4 years during the student's time at K-State. It's a renewable scholarship. So, the Leslie Albert and Lola Fern Drogi Scholarship for Agriculture Studies is awarded to a Nemaha County High School graduate who's a junior or above in the College of Agriculture at Kansas State University. Curtis Bloom was a 2022 recipient. He's since graduated college and is currently employed at John Deere in Colorado. And it's wonderful to hear about the success of our scholarship recipients and then the positive impact that we've been able to make to get them where they're at. In 2005, Pat and Patty Schmelzley and family established the Kathy L. Schmelzley Academic Scholarship in memory of their daughter. This scholarship is $750, and it's awarded to a graduating senior from Nemaha Central High School who plans to attend a program and major in teacher education. So the recipient was Savannah Engelken. So again, I'm excited to announce that we have 2 new scholarships for this year. The Centralia Community Church Scholarship that we talked a little bit about earlier, and the United for Youth Scholarship. And more information is available on our websites, as well as the school counselors have it to get signed up for those. A lot of the deadlines are March 15th. So I'd like to take a moment to remember those who passed away in 22. Those who received memorials in their names or were step members were Judith, Ann, Judy Bourne, Shirley Sparling, and Lisa Stahlbaumer. Is there anyone else who passed that we may have forgotten? If not, would you please join me for just a moment of silence and remembrance? Thank you. Lastly, donations were given in honor of Ambrose and Mary Ann Schmitz and myself. In your packets tonight are the lists of business members, family, individual, it's all at the back there. Thank you again for everyone who donates. We are doing a theme this year. As you noticed, as the table decorations are all baseball theme, and so is our membership invite, and as you saw, the Step Up supporter is a baseball. So that's kind of our theme for this year. The take-home treats on your table, the cake balls were made by Anissa Balloon. Thank you, Anissa, for those. And we're kind of going to make our Step Up supporters our all-star team. So again, you can think about this. If you want to leave it at the back table, there's a basket back there. If you want to just take it home and think about it or talk to a board member, that's great too. I did want to mention who the new members were in 2022. I just have them listed here, but I'll read through those real quick. Our new business members were Allie's Cafe and the Northeast Kansas Arts Foundation, as well as Valley View Milling. And our new family members were Alan and Kathy Flinty, Bob and Sarah Kramer, Arden and Evelyn Ridinghouse, Jim and Janice Steinlogie. And our new individual memberships were Leroy Chadwick, Bonnie Meeks, and Joe Wells. So we're gonna have a drawing here at the end. If you renewed your membership, whether it was ACH, check, or cash, we had your name in a bowl back there, we'll bring it up here and we'll do a $50 cash drawing. So I wanted to thank everyone who's given, and UBT, of course, for that $10,000 donation that helped with that match day as well. And let's see, in closing, the final joke of the evening, in true Community Foundation humor. Why did Duracell donate batteries for their matching gift program? They were free of charge. I'll turn it back over to Marcy.
Justin? Justin, thank you so much for the service you've given our organization. Justin came on in like 2014, I think September 2014, served this whole entire time, and you just brought so much expertise to our organization, and this community is so lucky to have such an asset in Justin. My gosh, you're a wonderful man. Thank you. And I would also like to recognize Leon Haberkamp and Dustin Walters. They've agreed to serve a second 4-year term. Okay, the slate of nominees is Kevin Belkamp. I will now ask for nominations from the floor. Again, I will ask, are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
Madam President, I move that we nomination cease and we cast a unanimous verbal ballot. Second.
So I had a motion by John, and who seconded that? Jeff Gore. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Kevin. You're one of us. First of all, why don't we do the drawing? So you can, do you mind grabbing that? Okay, the person's name is William Brannon. I don't think he's here, but we'll get in touch with William and get him that $50. Okay, I don't want to forget any past board members. If you could stick around after the meeting so we could get a picture. Okay? All right, is there any other business? I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Dave Haverkamp, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Jeff, good man. All in favor? Well, I will declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you so very much.